Yo, what is going on, you guys? It's your boy Jerry Trades back with another banger video. And on today's video, I want to go ahead and summarize. It's been a while since I made one of these trading recaps. So I want to go share with you guys this trade that we went ahead and took. Friday to close off the third trading week of December, practically the last, finishing up the month, stepping into January as December blends into January. It's going to be the last full month trading for December. And we caught a really nice trade here on Tesla. I usually stay away from. Working with these lower capital accounts, we're kind of just focused on growing and being accessible to the rest of my clientele. So I don't like going for Tesla Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday because those contracts are still maybe around $400, $500, which for many of my clients is a significant amount to risk. So I like to, work with companies like AMD, companies like Lucid Motors. We went ahead and played a little bit of NVIDIA, some Amazon, starting to play a little bit with Ford here, just to keep it a little bit more, affordable for my clients and also expose people to, limiting kind of that risk and having the upside potential behind trading, practicing the skill set. So at market open, we seen, first looking out at the charts, we seen Tesla has a consistent resistance around here at 490. As we previously broke above, set all-time highs of 495 just earlier last week. This week we went ahead and seen, to conclude the week, a big jump at market open, going from 485 all the way to a high of 489, almost at 490 off of resistance. But look, she began to trend downward. And me, I kind of don't like entering, here in these positions. Once I see the movement, I kind of let it play out. I could have entered there, easily made around maybe 160%, 200%. But me, I like to kind of just minimize the risk, and me also being aware of how Tesla moves. I love this company. This company has made me a significant amount of money this year. I love the community, the investors behind it, because it's almost predictable. So I knew, based on my previous experience with trading Tesla, that whenever it gets oversold like this, and especially so early in the day, there's always going to be a point where we catch some sort of support or supply and begin rejecting. So when I was looking at this really aggressive sell-off here, I'm like, perfect, we're going down from 48. I was expecting a rejection around here at supply of off of 476, because previously, as you guys see by the illustrations, here at 476, jump up, here at 476, jump up, back here, 476, jump up. A little bit of consolidation here. Previously, we broke down, didn't really get a hold of supply. But usually when we break below supply, now I'm really looking to pull the trigger on some call options, just because supply levels are usually where we have that, you see here, 90% B, 10% sellers. That means 90% buyers, 10% sellers. So usually around supply, we usually get some sort of rejection, and buyers step in to start taking advantage of the price of the stock. So as I seen we broke below supply, I was like, perfect, now is really the opportunity to go ahead and start looking for these call options. And I seen here this first candle, this first sell candle closed off on the higher end, although a wick down to 474. Already trading at 474, that's a red flag of its own. It's not like, oh, this is something that, hey, like, it's, let me get scared. No, like, we're already below supply, and knowing, based on previous history, supply has continuous points of, reversals in terms of the, reversing back up. That's where I'm like, okay, perfect. We're below it. It's not gonna happen here at this last previous supply, but it's going to happen because that's just what statistically has been happening in the past. So I took advantage of this kind of thesis and believed in myself. And as we went below 475, I was already at 475. That's a steal. That's the lowest we've been in the last, maybe 3 weeks. I'm gonna pull the trigger. I pulled some call options here, and we let it ride, man. At 475, we're able to catch all the way this point up to 479. Once we had this kind of consolidation here, I was already like, man, it's a 0-day expiration. It's 8:30 in the morning. I'm not really trying to, be a part of this data. Data is an aggressive Greek that does impact a lot of 0-day expiration, 0 days till expiration option contracts. You lose a significant amount of value to theta in these contracts, especially as you hold even throughout hours. So I was like, you know what, I'm not gonna lose more on my profits, and then that's when I went ahead and pulled this out right here. But later on in the day, she did sell off to supply, jump back up to 480. Some of my clients got out there at that 480, walking away with maybe more than 80%, maybe like 120%. The extra 40% sounds about right. Me, I went ahead and stepped away for like around 86%. I know it's just a really good trade to conclude the week, stepping into the weekend, off a win. Really interesting to see how next year's going to play out. We've seen this really aggressive sell-off to kind of conclude December, so that was a real red flag for me, seeing how investors were just taking that hit, going from 49 all the way to 473. It's more than $10 in share value, but it's not an abnormal move for Tesla. But for sure did pave some way looking at to how next week is going to play out. Will Tesla want to go from these four? Looks like she closed at 475. Does she want to go for this 475 all the way to 500 going into next week? We've seen a lot of movement going off of here. Just right here, Friday, previously trading at 477, making that push up to 494. It was a beautiful play, and I think that Tesla does have the strength in her to keep it running. But that's a trade recap to kind of summarize exactly how to spot some sort of reversals using key levels like demand, resistance, support, and supply to identify a more ideal place to enter, and also know when to get out in terms of identifying terms of consolidation right here, and also that awareness of a 0-day expiration contract to, hey, let me not expose myself to theta, get out, take the money that I made, and continue about, then I live to trade another day is, a model that I've been telling a lot of my clients. So that's an amazing, trade recap. I hope you guys enjoy.